can shake it.
So, calendar is scheduled.
Just.
Doesn't show any schedule, so we know. Do some of that. Nice.
Yeah.
For 6 months.
And I think, so I think it just replaced.
It's full.
Yeah. It says.
They scheduled it.
Oh.
It's interesting. Same ones.
So Dale won't be here tonight, so
Yeah, well,
did we appoint us?
No, we did not. That's something we've had on the agenda before and forget to add it in. But we need a vice chair.
I
Well-
nominate Lynn. Is that okay, Rand?
Yep.
Okay.
And you're running the show tonight. Ren does have to be out of here before 6, just FYI, we do have only one item on the agenda, so we should be.
okay. Who else is coming?
Keith, and we have
Kyle.
Tommy and Kyle zoomed in.
Tommy hasn't joined us, but he did get the Zoom invite.
So we do have a quorum as of now, or when we 5:30, what up, looks like, so
Yep.
we can start right on.
Oh, and lots
So-
of, here it is. We're good.
Let's see, right there in the middle.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, those are the minutes.
I probably, anyway.
So.
Yeah.
You know, you said Keith is supposed to be here.
I think we'll
And
be.
who's on the budget?
We just need to, without figuring out what people say. It's figured out.
Yeah,
what to
he
take out.
said that maybe up to
Some
the
guys
night
were
we
gonna
can
buy
do
stuff.
Zoom
It's
invite,
like,
but
oh, yeah,
that's
that's a
not
pretty easy
maybe.
fix to save a couple $100,000 if we find 5 of those.
Right, we're gonna do, we're gonna get moving.
This is that.
4 is a quorum, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So even though Keith doesn't get here.
Very good. Let's do these. It needs one minute. Oh, there's.
Evaluation of conflict. 15% there.
So he gave me numbers, but the guy told me, he said he called you. He said he was gonna call, because he didn't know. Or whatever else, like.
Yeah, just send me. I'll be here.
Yeah, I have a number. Okay. 220,000.
We're waiting. Keith.
Okay. Thanks.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. There's a. Minutes. This room, doing this commission.
Yeah, is that camp?
Maybe. All right, you ready to begin? I call this meeting to order. Roosevelt Planning and Zoning. Guess I'm acting as the assistant chair today, but. So we'd like to have a roll call. Can you hear us? Okay, we've got Kyle Snoot on Zoom. And, John Hollinger here. Keith Goodspeed here. And, I'm here. Bren here. All right. So we have a quorum. All right. The minutes of the meeting here are, on this little paper. If some of you reviewed that, you Anybody want to make a motion to approve those?
Summer pointed out that we probably ought to say that the meeting was begun, or what did you call it?
Yeah, the little segment where I write in when it was called to order and by whom, I completely neglected that, so that's a revision that I would recommend.
Okay,
I'll move a motion to accept with that recommendation.
the call to order by Dale. Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second
I
that.
have a second by Keith, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right. So, action items for today. Kyle's here again.
Do you want a full site plan or just the,
That. Okay, so this will be the site plan for Northeastern Counseling Center's new facility they'll be building on 8 South, across the street from the existing center and adjacent to the west of the road that you guys had approved with construction in the past month. So we've reviewed, our engineers have reviewed, everything checks out as far as parking area compliance. We would seek for approval for the site plan for Northeastern Counseling Center.
Is there gonna be a pond then, or they haven't decided? or-
Yeah, so that's the next item on the agenda. Oh, so let's speak to, there's two different drainage issues here that we're talking about. One for the site, we'll treat these as two separate. The site plan with the drainage in the roadway, with the storm drain proposal, and the detention ponds that were approved. So let's start with the site plan. You want to speak to the drainage on the site?
Yep, so what's on the site plan, and I gotta get better glasses or
like,
something. But, what was initially approved early on, when the property was divided, was to have the two ponds, temporary ponds, until future development happened. We've included those on here, but the plan is for Northeastern Counseling to go ahead and also put in their own storm drain line that would run down to the gulch. So that's kind of the way it goes. We're very confident that storm drain is gonna happen, but even if it didn't, this is covered to where the ponds are sized if that needed to happen there. And I think kind of both of those have been approved, so.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in the next line item. I think you was asking about the facility, right? The actual facility.
Oh, I was just, any of it, that was actually about the drainage, principally, but.
Yeah. So right now, there's a retention pond on site,
Okay,
so that would remain on Northeastern Counseling's property that would reduce the flows up out of the site to pre-development flows.
so what are we approving today?
The site plan.
This is,
Just the site plan.
this technically could have happened a while ago, but this is the master site plan that would kind of be the first step, and then after this, the city's already had, the plan review done and everything else to get a building permit. So this right now is to approve the master site
Yes, just
for the development.
Okay, this,
Right. We have a motion to approve the master site plan.
I would motion.
We have a motion by John Hollinger. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Keith. Any further discussion?
I'm still studying it,
Okay,
sorry. I'm a little slow.
So I can just kind of give you a gist too. So, Northeastern Counseling's existing building is up here.
Right?
that's 8 South right there.
This
Right.
is 8th South right here.
I work two
This
buildings
is Rodeo
down.
Drive.
Okay,
And so there'll be entrances here into the parking lot. So one here, and then a little one back here. And so this all is parking here. There is some landscaping things, but then there's kind of a retention pond right here that again, or detention, I should say, detention pond that detains the flows and lets them off at pre-development flows into a storm drain box here that's piped to the end of the curve as well. And then, like I said, if the storm drain, if their line down to the gulch happens to delay for a little bit, these ponds are sized to serve the road as well. And those were on the initial concept or the subdivision plat initially a couple years ago. The building is approximately 12,000 square feet. It would basically serve the same purpose as the building across the street. They just have an additional need for more faculty, things like that.
Kyle, could you give us just an explanation of what the actual building's gonna be? Because I don't know if I've actually heard exactly what.
It's just the same usage as our building across the street. So it's for therapists, physicians, just a doctor's kind of a clinic office.
Is there gonna be any apartments or anything like that? 'Cause at one point it was mentioned that this might be.
The Vernal
The
one,
Vernal.
that's part of the Roosevelt one doesn't.
Okay.
But, you know, there has been a therapist that slept in their office before. Sure. Other than that, no.
Not permanent.
We have a motion and a second.
One other question. So drainage, you got curb and sidewalk going to the north there,
So there's curb gutter, so there's existing curb gutter sidewalk over by NRCS building,
right?
whatever, these buildings, I don't know which one's which, but.
NRCS and
So we-
DCFS.
Yep, so we tie into the curb and gutter there, and we
Okay.
actually extend curb and gutter all along that frontage and asphalt to
Okay.
widen the road a little bit too. Same thing here from the property line over, and then curb gutter sidewalk down this street on both sides.
Okay,
This drainage goes into the existing storm drain that runs down 8th South.
Okay.
Everything else goes this way.
So the property on the right, is that zoned residential?
This is the same zoning,
I think it's still.
commercial.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And right now, nothing's proposed to be done here, but the Northeastern Castle did purchase both parcels.
so then sewer's gonna go to the north as well?
So the sewer services all go to 8th South.
Okay.
From what I was informed during the initial split, essentially these parcels are able to be served with that existing infrastructure for sewer. But as future development were to happen south, that would kind of all need to go down through Meadowbrook.
Okay.
We are extending the culinary water line down through this road and the secondary irrigation down through this road.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, they'll have power and everything else as well.
Okay.
So,
So a couple of years ago, the Baptist church built just down the road from that, and they had problems getting. They had sewer, was it sewer or was it drainage?
The drainage,
They had to go, because they had to go back behind or something like that.
oh, well, you're going before my time, Ren.
No, you were there.
I mean, it looked like they would probably have a problem with drainage. It's lower than the road, but
I can't remember, Ren. I'm not sorry. I think
That's fine.
On the west side, on the lower left, is that another retention pond?
this would be
Yes.
it's another detention pond that ties
Detention.
in, it looks like. Yep.
So, and then it's detention, so it's gonna go slope back to the.
It'll all come over here, and then these ponds are sized for retention essentially at this point, but the plan the Northeastern Counseling has is to actually put their own storm drain line in down to the gulch so that they don't have ponds there. I mean, they've had issues at their current site with drainage issues. It didn't have anywhere to go, and so obviously this would work, but everybody's preference is for that to go all the way to the natural drainage.
Well, and I work at NRCS, 2 buildings down, and when all of our water, it doesn't work, and so we have a little pond there for a couple of days.
Yeah,
So our parking lot serves as a retention pond.
Yeah.
Which isn't good.
yeah. Yeah, so all the site drainage should be taken care of to where it's going to either detention basin, and then out.
Okay.
But at the pre-development flows.
All right.
Now, last month we talked about the problem of the.
We'll get to that. Let's take care of this mission.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? You're in favor? Okay. All right. Ready to speak? All in favor. So the motion passed.
Okay, so next item was the storm drain discussion. Last month, we brought to the commission a proposal to upgrade the detention ponds at the end of the road, or retention on those, I guess. Retention ponds for a upgraded storm drain system that would be essentially turned over to Roosevelt City and potentially take in 10.5 acres of development. Since then, Northeastern Counseling Center and Gordon Snow has come up with an agreement to do a private storm drain system that will be maintained by Northeastern Counseling Center, and the easement will go to Northeastern Counseling Center. And not built, I guess, per se to the engineer of Roosevelt Cities, whatever they're gonna do on their own, so. And Roosevelt will not assume liability of that line, it'll be a private line. So that's just an update on
But it
that.
will not go to the gulch.
Yes, it will, but it won't come to the city, it's gonna be a private.
You know, I'm just wondering why, I mean, if that line is gonna go in, this seems to me like the city would want to chip in and so that it can be eventually the city drain, you know?
And that was the option we gave them, is it would need to be built to city standards and engineered, and they do not wanna do that, so.
Well,
No, that's
city standard and engineered, but then no city contribution.
No, the developers pay for the infrastructure, much like the roadways and everything else that's built through Roosevelt City. The developer pays for the infrastructure. Roosevelt City takes it over 2 years after the completion of the construction. And that's then standard for quite a long time.
That's not totally accurate, Drew, but
Don't speak to this, please.
it's a non-issue. We're just gonna do it on our own. Just, I'm happy to talk line if you want to ask the specific questions, but I just feel like, it was too complicated to get it done.
Complicated.
Well, it's too complicated. I mean, they were trying to take in the entire 60 acres or whatever and then say that all has to be drained on this line. And, you know, there's nothing drawn to say that that's exactly what's going to happen in that property yet. And we just felt like, in order to move forward, we're going to do it. We'll do it on our own. And then we can work with the city later if that needs to. We'll still put it in the roadway. We'll still, have it at the minimum 18 inches, which is what the city requires in the road. We'll still do all those things. It's still, up to standard. It's just going to be owned by us instead of the city.
I think the biggest concern there is it was meant to drain whatever the engineer's specifications was on that 18-inch line, and we did identify 10.5 acres that could be drained, not the whole parcel, but it did need to be engineered to city specs. And I think that was the biggest kicker for you guys, that you didn't want to pay that extra money. So therefore, it's gonna be a private line.
Well,
It's still the city, the spec.
Kyle?
Yeah.
So your intention is to put your own line to the
Yep.
gulch?
Yep.
And so that will do away with these retention ponds?
Those ponds will still be there. They're still required, but there'll be a catch basin there that will take it to the gulch.
Those ponds will go right to the gulch. They come across under the 8 South from your other facility?
So from our other facility, there is do you know what it is? The 8-inch or 6-inch or something?
It's 12. I think.
Okay, so we do plan to put a pipe under to 8 South, just a one pond over there to drain it onto this site so that we can get rid of the water from there. But other than that, that's the only thing we're doing is just taking from the one pond in the front. It just doesn't
Essentially,
drain.
both units will go to the gulch.
Yeah.
That's great.
Anyway, just the update there, so it's what has been decided, so.
You don't need a motion.
No, just an update. It did pass through planning and zoning last month. The decision was altered there, so we'll just give you an update basically.
How many times have you been in here, Kyle, to these meetings on this matter?
Too many.
And do you pay each time you come?
Like monetarily? I don't think so. Drew pays.
It's a cost every time you came.
We've waived some of those fees.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Is that all on that?
Unless you guys want to talk about it more.
All right, anything else you want to talk about on
I think it's a private matter.
that? All right. If there's nothing else, do we want to have a motion to dismiss?
Item 5, do you have anything, Drew?
No.
Okay.
We have a motion?
Brad needs to get out, I'll let him talk.
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, you have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Keith, all in favor? Aye. All right, thank you for coming. Thank
Hey,
you.
Brandon.
This year, man.
We'll do it.